Funeral of Edith Ritz, Etka bat Moshe v'Teofila. April 2020, Nisan Tafshin Fei 5780. I'm going to begin my remarks with a prayer that is quite unconventional, at least unconventional for this particular situation. I'll explain why in a little bit. Baruch atah Hashem Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Hashem our God, ruler of the universe, who granted us life, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this day. This blessing, known as the Shehecheyanu, is an expression of gratitude to God for new and unusual experiences or possessions. The Babylonian Talmud in Masechet Brachot provides two examples of special occasions when the Shehecheyanu is recited: when you build a new house or when you purchase new clothing. It is also traditional to recite this blessing when seeing a friend you haven't seen for 30 days or longer. In the 13th century, the halachic authority David Abudraham taught that the Shehecheyanu blessing is to be recited on the occasion of recurring first-time events, such as the blessing on the dwelling in the sukkah for the first time each year, candle lighting on the first night of Hanukkah and other holidays, and Kiddush on the first night of a multiple-day holiday. In general, the Shehecheyanu is recited on happy occasions. So why did I include this blessing in my opening remarks to such a sad event? Because this was Edith Ritz's favorite prayer. In fact, when asked to describe his mom, one of the adjectives that Steve used was grateful. So it is no surprise that the anniversary ketubah paper cut that adorns one of the walls of the Ritz's home at 46 Peasley Drive in Marlborough features the Shehecheyanu blessing. The words of this bracha surround the central text of Jerry and Edith's Jewish marriage contract. Given Edith's history as a kinder transport survivor, which you will hear about from Sue a little later on today, it is especially remarkable that Edith loved this blessing. Despite the difficult circumstances of her childhood, during which she had to flee Vienna, live with a foster family in England, and then immigrate to the United States, it is quite amazing that Edith was able to express gratitude to God for granting her life and for sustaining her. As she said in her own words in her memoir, and these words are in the funeral program, "But look how wonderfully lucky we are. We had escaped, all of us, intact and ready for what lay ahead. So many had perished. All of our family in Poland had been wiped out. As for me, and for most of us refugees, this, the United States, has been the best of countries. We could put the past behind us and in freedom and security could watch our own children and grandchildren thrive and have the chance to become anything they set their minds to." Just a few days ago, those of us who had Passover Seders had the opportunity to recite the Shehecheyanu blessing when we lit candles, when we recited Kiddush, and when we ate matzah for the first time since last year's Seder. Many of us also recited the following words while dipping our pinkies in our glass of wine or grape juice. Dam, Tzfardea, Kinim, Arov, Dever, Shechin, Barad, Arbe, Choshech, Makat Bechorot. Blood, frogs, lice, wild beasts, cattle disease, boils, hail, locust, darkness, and the plague of the firstborn. These are the 10 plagues with which the people of Egypt were smitten, the 10 plagues that Jews around the world recall every year at their Passover Seders. Now, in most normal years, and this year was anything but normal, the youngest person at the Seder usually asks the Manishtana, the 4 questions that begin with the overarching category question, how is this night different from all other nights in the rest of the year? Well, this year, Jews of all ages also asked ourselves, how is this Passover different from all other Passover holidays we have observed in the past? And we all had similar answers to that question. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we were not able to have large family gatherings or communal seders this year. Because of the coronavirus, we were confined to our own homes, and many of us hosted solo seders, or seders that were smaller than usual. Now, back in the day, on the very first Passover in history, the Malach HaMavet, the angel of death, hovered above the Egyptians as it meted out the plague of the firstborn, Makat Bechorot. And now, during this Passover holiday, the angel of death is hovering overhead during Makat Corona. And it is in the midst of this plague that we are gathered together to pay our last respects to Edith Ritz, Etka, Bat Moshe, Teofila, beloved wife of Jerry, beloved mother of Steve and Sue, beloved mother-in-law of Nini and Lawson, beloved grandmother of Ellen, Ben, Marissa, David, and Jacob, beloved grandmother-in-law of Andrew, Sam, and Marcy, beloved founding member of Temple Beth Ahm in Aberdeen, New Jersey, where I serve as the spiritual leader, where I am standing right now, where Jerry served as president, and where we were blessed to hear Edith share her story at our Yom HaShoah Holocaust Remembrance Day service a few years ago, as well as at a sisterhood event and other synagogue programs a few years back before my time. The book from which we told the story at our Passover Seders is called a Haggadah, or Haggadah, which means the telling. In the book of Shemot, Exodus, God tells Bnei Yisrael, our Israelite ancestors, that the day would come when Jewish children would ask about the past. When we tell the story of past generations to our children, we not only remember the past, we also transmit to future generations the experiences, the hopes, the aspirations, and the dreams of those who came before them. It is in the telling of the stories of our predecessors that we give them continuity well beyond their lifespan. Today, we remember and tell the story of an amazing woman, Edith Ritz. Today, we gather together for the Haggadah, the telling of the life of Etka Bat Moshe Teofila. Edith's children, Susan and Steven, will now speak about their mom.